A mindset shift is when you change your thinking or the way you think about something to get in alignment with accomplishing a goal. That's a mindset shift, or accomplishing some sort of achievement. That's a mindset shift. And it's possible to do that. That's a very possible thing to do. But in order to do that, you have to change. In order to do that, you have to process new information. In order to do that, you have to commit to achieving an outcome. An easy example for me to describe this is if there's a goal I'm trying to accomplish, like weight loss, right? I'd like to lose weight. I have to change my mindset on how I view food. I have to start viewing food as a source of energy and nutrition instead of taste and flavor. If I eat just because I like the taste and flavor, I'm very likely to continue to experience weight issues. But if I change my mindset about this to like, this is how I get nutrition and energy into my body, then I start making different choices. So that's a mindset shift. And in order to do that, you just have to commit to the process and you have to take on new information and allow that to impact how you think. Welcome back to Family Therapy. I'm your host, Elliot Connie. What's been better since you listened to the previous episode? Once again, this is a very important aspect of solution-focused brief therapy where I want you to focus on things that are getting better. So we're going to always ask ourselves that question. It's very important that you are able to gauge your progress towards a goal, because if you don't do that, then every step feels like failure. Like if you don't gauge how much you're progressing towards an outcome, then every day you're not at your outcome feels like failure. But if you are able to gauge your progress towards that outcome, then every day feels like a micro achievement on your way to the macro achievement. So that's why I always ask my questions where they are on a scale from 0 to 10, because it helps them to gauge, I might not be at 10, but I'm no longer at 0. And that changes the feeling of failure to a feeling of success. A comfort zone is exactly as it sounds. It's a place where you feel most comfortable. But it's actually the enemy of success. And the reason it's the enemy of success is because we seek out comfort without thinking about whether or not comfort is healthy or not. Comfort is just what I'm most familiar with. So if you grew up in an environment where there's lots of drugs and alcohol, that becomes your comfort zone. That's what you're most familiar with. We don't think about whether it's good for us or not. We just think that it's comfortable for us. And when we make changes, changes are always uncomfortable. Even really positive changes are uncomfortable. And what ends up happening to people is they want to grow and change and become the better version of themselves, but change leads to uncomfort, and then people recoil back to the comfort zone. That's why comfort zones are very crippling, and they become a hindrance towards people changing and becoming successful. And it's why if you want to change, grow, and progress, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You cannot have a proper mindset shift while being in the comfort zone. A mindset shift will always trigger uncomfort. Today is spent directly focusing with David, who seems to have completely shifted his energy and is motivated towards change. So David, what's been better since we last talked?
Staying consistent with certain things, added something else so I could get consistent with. That's what's been better.
You added something else?
Yeah, just something else that and I mean, it's small. It's more for me. Just every morning I used to wake up and do my push-ups. So I
Mm-hmm.
started that last week.
Oh, nice.
So every morning I wake up, when I get out the shower and do all my stuff, I do my set of push-ups. So I was like, I got to start doing that again. I used to do it all the time,
Mm.
like all the time. So I just I'm just, I've been reading some stuff, listening to some audios, and it was like I just got to start creating, getting more discipline, getting my discipline back. I was like, I'm gonna start with this. Yeah, I'm gonna start with this. So that's been good.
What made you bring that back? Like, at what point did you decide I got to bring this back?
Well, just with, the last couple of sessions, things how I want to start moving forward. And I always been health conscious. Like, I try to eat good. I take my supplements. I'm not really a big gym guy. If I could work out at home, like I
Mm-hmm.
will go to the gym, but if I could work out at home, because now I don't got to pay for no membership, I do it at home. So I was like, David, you know what? Start doing your push-ups again. Start doing your push-ups again. So I just started. When I told myself that, and it was like in the middle of the day, I just got down, did my push-ups, and then I said every morning, wake up, no matter what, I'm gonna do my push-ups. Every morning, doing my push-ups.
I love that. What else have you noticed yourself being consistent with?
The way I respond, the way I'm not getting upset at certain things, like at work, at home, just controlling myself more, thinking about my response before I even say it. Stop not worrying about the little stuff. If it's out of my control, it's out of my control. If I only could do what I can do, then I'm gonna do what I can do, and this the rest is just, it is what it is. Leave it in God's hands. Or yeah, that's it. I just been trying to shift my mind and my thinking to get back to like it used to be. And
Right.
when I sit back and reflect, when I was in that frequency and I had that energy, it just felt different. And then things that just start falling into place. So that's the frequency I'm trying to get back to and the energy I need to have.
I love that. And what have you noticed as you've been doing these consistent things? What have you noticed about the difference it's making for you?
Smiling more, you know, uh, just feeling good. It's like got a different like it's like, when you got on a new suit or new clothes, like or you got some money in your pocket, you just walk different. Right. Yeah. So it's just like that's what I noticed the most, right? So I gotta notice the change in me the most, right? It's not a big change yet, but it's a slow change and it's changing because of some of the things that I'm implementing into the change. Like like I said, I dropped my son off. I listened to one of my audios. It's either Eric Thomas or Les Brown. I listened to that for about 20, 30 minutes just to get some positive stuff. Like, all positive. No radio, no ESPN radio, none of that. Not eager. Yeah, yeah. So that's what I've been doing lately. And I'm starting to notice the difference. Even the performance at work, right? Because it done been a situation, something happened, everybody like, sorry. I said, no, I don't feel sorry. I said I did everything I could do.
Hmm.
Right? I ain't sorry about it. It's gonna come back. And then with having that approach, because that's what I used to say all the time when I was at my other job, having that approach and what happened, it came right back. Different customer, it came right back just like that. So I was like, see, it came back. Can't be mad. You can't dwell on it. It's over with. It's done. You done did everything in your power, right? You helped them, you tried, made the phone calls. It's just not working. Got to move on. And that's what I did.
Man, that's how different is this from the way you were recently, you know?
Oh, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. A couple of months ago, or even a few weeks ago, we could go December or November. Like it's like night and day, pretty much. Yeah. It's not the same David. I don't care what nobody else say. I know and I feel it's not the same David.
Right.
So yeah,
Man, I love that. Okay, so what what are you hoping you could get from me today that would help you stay on this path?
I don't know, man. I'm used like the last two sessions, like everything that you was bringing to the table, and and what we was discussing was awesome. So I'm like, I look forward to the sessions and everything. So whatever you have up your sleeve, I think I'm ready for it.
Well, all right, let me ask you like okay, so let me ask you like this. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 is you are the absolute best version of yourself, and 0 is the exact opposite. Where would you say you were a few weeks and months ago?
Probably like a one.
Okay. And where would you say you are today?
Honestly, still got a lot of work to do. Probably like a 3.5, almost 4.
Three and a half, almost four. Okay. If you woke up tomorrow and instead of a three and a half, almost four, you were like a four and a half, almost five, how would you notice it? What would be a clue to you that it has gone up just a bit? Like, yeah, you can go all the way up to 10, but it just a little bit ticked up the scale. How would you notice it?
To be honest, I think it had to be a few days in a row, right?
Right.
Because like I said, I'm trying to build consistency. Like that's one of the things that I need to get back, being consistent on certain things, building that discipline. So I think I need to, today is Wednesday, so I will probably need like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'll be like, okay, all right, here we at. This is what, okay, David. Yeah. So I think it would take more than, you know, me getting off of work, going home and waking up tomorrow and like, okay, I'm at a 4.5. I got to get out of my comfort zone, and that's what I'm trying to create. And that was one of the things I listened to with Les Brown. Get out your comfort zone. You got to get out your comfort zone. That's one of the things that Jay said this before. She said this. She said, David, the reason he's still with me, thrown me is because he's comfortable there, and is like he's comfortable. He's awesome at it. He's just that he's comfortable,
Hmm.
right? It's so many other things that he could be doing. He's comfortable with it. He could do it with his eyes closed. He could
Right.
sit there and ask me anything about furniture, size. I don't have to come to your house, and I can ask you certain questions, and I can size up your what you need in your basement or what you need in your living room or something like that. And I never saw your home. I don't need to look at pictures. I just know what questions to ask you.
Hmm.
That's that's how detailed and how long I've been doing it, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm comfortable with it, like talking about stuff like that. And she said, and that's one of the biggest things, and I noticed that too, right? If I want to spend more time with my boys, if I want to increase income to do other things, I got to get out of my comfort zone.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Man, I have so many questions. My first question is you brought up Jade. Has she noticed
Mhm.
the growth from like feeling like you're at a one on that scale to being at a 3.5, maybe four?
Don't know. Um,
Not that it's about her totally, but I'm just curious if
mm,
she's noticed and she's around you.
I don't know. Didn't ask. I really don't know. I don't know. I
Hmm.
think it's at the point she may think is little. I think it's a bigger step for me. I think it's
Hmm.
gonna take a little bit more for her to respond, like verbally respond on certain things. So and I'm comfortable with that. I'm cool with that. Like it's not like I don't look at that like, oh, she's not noticing that. She didn't give me no validation, no, because
Right.
there's some things that I need to do that must be done, but it's certain little steps I need to take so I can get to that. And that's what I'm trying to create and trying to build so I can get to that point.
Right. And what if your boys noticed?
Well, they still young, so it's daddy all the time. If my daughter was living with me, she'll probably have a better because she's 16. Even
Hmm.
if she was 12, she probably could relay the message a little bit more though. But I don't know what it is. I say I really
Hmm.
don't. Isaiah just think everything dad do is, oh, dad is cool. We get in my car. I listen to music. I got the whole back seat to myself, and I'm gonna brush my teeth when he brush his teeth. You know what I'm saying? I don't like daddy. I don't like you putting Vaseline on my face. Your hands not soft like mommy's. Like what? Yes, little stuff and that just cracks me up. Like, listen, if you could see me around my boys, man, like it's like it don't matter what's going on,
Hmm.
right? No matter what's going on, my boys bring me joy. All my kids do. As I said, my daughter lives in Florida. Like even when my mom passed, right? It was a blessing that I had my sons there, like especially the yes guy, because they kids and they just being they self, they
Right.
100% organic, and it just helped with the process. Yeah,
Mm.
it really helped with the process. Yeah, yeah. So those my guys. And Isaiah love hanging out. Like I said, man, like, me and him hang out at the barbershop. Like that's his thing. Like he
Really?
Friday come, oh man. Me and him at the barbershop. Last Friday, I forgot to make my appointment. I thought I did. Picked him up from aftercare. We there at 6 o'clock. Barber, my guy, this is a very good friend of mine. He said, Dave, I don't think you made an appointment. He looked at it, he said he didn't. He was like, can you come back at 9? Now it's Friday. I got a 5-year-old. I was like, 9? I could come back at 10 o'clock if I have to.
Hmm.
So I said, you know what? I said, Isaiah, you ready to go? He was like, nah, Dad, I can stay. I got my tablet, the music on. He said, no, I don't want to go. I said, all right. I said, you hungry? Yeah. Went next door, got him some food. He ate. And we just hung out in the barbershop until like 8 o'clock. He got in the chair, then I got in the chair. We was playing cars. He high-fiving everybody, high-fiving me. And then he get in the car, Daddy, that was the best. I had so much fun.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
And I always said I can't wait until I have boys so I could take them to the barbershop with me. Like that's just some of the things like I can't wait till I teach them. I'm teaching them a little bit how to tie a tie and stuff like that, but I couldn't wait to take them to the barbershop with me. Like I think that's you got a son, you need him take him to the barbershop with you. It's just a different. Mom can't do it, and I see women, whatever the situation is, bringing their sons to the barbershop. But I'd rather it be me. Like we
Right.
not missing it. Yeah, I'd rather it be me. So that's me and his time. His little brother, he really can't go. That's why I try not to go home and then
Hmm.
bring Isaiah because Zeke know now when we leave the house and he wanna go with the boys. He want
Right.
to go with the boys, right? He want to go with dad, and, because he's starting to be more aware of things. So, but yeah, it's a beautiful thing. But I told him I was like, you got to show Jesus when he comes to the barbershop how to hang out and how to act in the barbershop. He said, yeah, Daddy, I'm gonna show him. I got him. I'm gonna show him. I'm like, this guy. He's only 5 years old though, but he's a good big brother. They good together. They good together.
That's amazing. And another thing you mentioned, like at work. Well, you mentioned a couple of things that all kind of said the same thing. Like Jay said, like David's just comfortable. Les Brown talking about like you got to be uncomfortable and you could kind of do your job in your sleep. If you really embrace this, like make yourself uncomfortable mentality, where do you hope it takes you, even professionally? Like where do you hope this journey takes you?
Top of the mountain. Top of the mountain. If I make myself uncomfortable and I transition into higher ticket sales, it's over with. Like
Hmm.
because it's too many people I meet, customers that come into the building, family. Like David, you need it's time to throw the towel in with furniture. It's like yo, you got to go to a higher ticket item and you'll do very well. Like, and Jay told me this multiple times. It's like she's not gonna tell me no more. She's
Right.
she's to the point now she need to see it, and then she's gonna be like, "High five! I told you." Like, see, you see, like not like I told you, but you see,
Right.
like
Right.
yeah. And I think that's what it is, right? So it's definitely time for that change. Especially, I can't want to have more time with my boys. I can't want to make more income, right? I can't want like I'm tired of doing this and it's like, all right, it is what it is with that. If it don't make a change. So
Right.
will it be a little bit uncomfortable? Yes. Will it hurt for a second? Absolutely. Right. But will I get through it? 120%. And I'm confident that I'm gonna get through it. So that's back going to lighting that fire.
Right.
That fire is burning. I know I got mom and sis looking over me and they know I could do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just time for me to do it. There's no more talking. It's just time for me to go ahead and just do it. Like, it got to a point like I'm the asset, right? So I'm
Mm.
the asset. I'm the one that's thriving in store. So I need to get up out of here, right? Because it's not what I want to do no more. Once the passion is gone and you don't want to do it no more, then it's like, all right, it is. It's like, whatever. And when I get to that, and when I first started in this game, like it wasn't like that. Like you couldn't pull me from the store. Jalen could call me right now and say she locked herself out the house. I'll leave to go open up the door, and I know where the spare key is
Mm.
at. Yeah, it's like that now. Like you know what I'm saying? You couldn't pull me
Right.
from the store. Like I worked New Year's Day 10 years straight. Well, 9 years straight.
Wow.
Last 2 weeks ago, last this New Year's that just passed, I called out.
Wow. Um, what
Yeah,
what is higher ticket sales? I like what instead
like
of
real estate.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I really want to get into the real estate market. Like I really want to get dealing with realtors, and I'm just like, yo, he's not even sales. This is the thing with sales, right? It's the same foundation with sales. It's just a different product, right? So that's why when I meet other salespeople or and they selling something else, I know when they missing a step. I
Mhm.
know when they're not asking the right questions. Now, I
Mhm.
don't got to know 100% about this industry though, but I know the foundation of sales.
Right.
Once you master that craft, it doesn't matter, right? Because you got to learn the product. So if I learn the product, if it's a vehicle, if it's a home or an apartment, whatever the case may be, then I take the skill set that I don't master and now I implement it, right? So you got to have personality. You got to know what you're talking about. You got to be confident, right? Got to be punctual and things of that nature. And you can't be afraid to ask the hard questions, right? You can't be afraid. And money not gonna impress me. I don't care if you're a millionaire or whatever. I got friends that got a lot of money, right? And I'm sat down with NFL owners, so I don't care. None of that is gonna distract me and going into your wallet and getting your money.
So if you keep being uncomfortable and keep progressing and start selling things like cars, apartments, or homes, that's more in line with the David you want to be. Is that right?
Yep, because it's gonna create a good income. It's gonna free up my time, right? That I could spend with my family. Okay. The one thing about the industry I'm in now, it takes a lot of time away from my family, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm big on family. I like spending time with my family. Do I like hanging out with my friends sometimes? Yes, though. But I like hanging out with my family too, right?
Right.
And that's what's gonna happen. My boys are gonna start getting a little older, playing sports. I want to be at practice or at the games, right? I know that feeling when your dad is not at a game or
Mm-hmm.
he's not really showing up to a practice or something like that. No, I want to be there. Mommy shouldn't. I'm not taking nothing away from women or nothing like that. But if the father is involved and he's in their lives and he's with the mother, the dad needs to be doing that too. Like most of the time, is there certain things I feel like the father should be doing. And for me to do that and to want that, I got to change something up. And I think I do very well at it too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's funny. You said you used the phrase a couple minutes ago, top of the mountain, and it
Yeah.
dawned on me you actually went to the top of the athletic mountain. Like you have been to the absolute top of a mountain before. Like that's not
Mm-hmm.
unusual for you.
Mm-mm.
How do
It's
you think your history of getting to the top of another mountain will help you get to the top of this next one?
because I know what it's gonna take to do that. Right? It's just like, back to the furniture thing, like I done been to the top of it in sales. Right? There's
Mm-hmm.
nowhere else to go just to sell more. Like a champion, all that stuff, curated increase revenue in stores and things of that nature. So there's nowhere else to go unless you want to switch your position, right? And I don't want to switch my position. So I know it takes hard work. It takes discipline, right? It's not gonna like you're not gonna the floodgates not gonna open up right away. And I understand that process. That doesn't discourage me, right? Because I know if you keep at it and you keep working and mastering your skill set with because I still listen and read stuff about sales and how to close sales and figure out people and personality and human behavior, things of that nature. So once you get all of that and then you put it into your own routine, like I did with football, I did with sales when I was in furniture and security systems and things of that nature, is going to get you to that level. It's the same. It's a same process. Different discipline. Same
Hmm.
process, different discipline. That's all it is. Now the discipline got to switch because you're going into a different industry, right? Same
Hmm.
process though, same process. And I got to get that process. So,
Right.
like you said, Les Brown, get uncomfortable for a little bit. And it's crazy when I was listening to him, I felt like he was talking to me. Like I just like, damn, is he sitting in the car with me? It's like, like I'm like, damn. I looked over to the side. I was like, nah, he ain't sitting there, but why he talking to you? It just felt like he was just talking to me. Like I didn't hear nothing else around me. No cars, no fire trucks, nothing. I just heard him, and that was it. I was like, yeah, yeah.
I love the energy of this session. We'll continue this conversation with David to learn more about the changes he is making when we come back. Okay, so back to the scale number. How would you notice over? You said it would take a couple of days of consistency. What would be some of those signs over those couple of days that would tell you I'm kind of more like a 4.5, 5 now? What would you see?
Maintaining my morning routines, my energy, not physical energy, but my aura, uh, and I think if that stays consistent, I know you're gonna have some off days. It's the way you handle your off day,
Right.
right? I think that's gonna let me know that okay, it's time to raise the number up a little bit. I think that's definitely gonna let me know, right? It's not is to I can't put a number on it tomorrow. I need a couple more days of okay, all right, this is what I want because let's say tonight the baby crying or whatever and I go to sleep late or I wake up at 4 in the morning and can't go back to sleep, right? Usually I do that. I'm like, I don't got time to do nothing in the morning. I'm cranky and everything, right? No, Still got to get up. Still got to do what I need to do my push-ups, listen to my motivational stuff.
Hmm.
It don't got to be 20 minutes. It could be 10 minutes and just keep it going, right? That's how you know when, all right, this is his habit. He's gonna
Right.
keep on doing it. He's gonna keep on doing it. And it's crazy too. I don't even drink coffee as much as no more.
Really?
I had about 2 cups of coffee in the last 2 weeks and don't even need it. Going to bed early, right? I started going to bed a little earlier. Now instead of staying up to 2, 3 in the morning, I'm in bed probably like 11. The other night I stayed up a little late because I was working, right? But other than that, I'm in bed by 11, 10 o'clock, 10:30. Wake up in the morning, no coffee. Like I probably had like yeah, maybe 3 cups in 2 weeks,
Is that unusual
maybe
too?
three. Oh, that's definitely unusual. Used to be I wake up, drink my bottle of water. If Jay's up before me and I'll smell a coffee, I'm like, yo, she ain't make no coffee yet. I'm downstairs, coffee on. Yeah, maybe a cup and a half, or I'm taking my tumbler with me to work with a thing full of coffee, straight black, right to the point. Now it's like no, not, I haven't had. I didn't have none today, yesterday, Monday, Sunday. Definitely ain't had none Saturday. I think I had my last cup of coffee probably was like Friday. I think I had a cup Friday. No,
David,
I
how,
had a cup. No, go ahead.
how do you explain that? That is such a drastic shift. How do you explain that?
I don't know, man. I think I was dependent on it because I was feeling sluggish, right? And
Hmm.
then it just started, you know what? If you want to stop feeling sluggish, go to bed a little earlier, right? Do
Hmm.
your push-ups, right? When you work out, you create more oxygen in your blood, right? More oxygen in your body, more energy you have, right? So I know the science on that. So I was like, well, if I stop doing this and that, then maybe I don't need the coffee in the morning, right?
Hmm.
And then like I'm like I do a lot of stuff on health. It's not the best choice of a energy boost, right? But it's not a super bad choice though. But I was like, nah, I don't even need it. Like for real, don't even need it. Don't even need it.
That's
Mm-mm.
crazy.
Hmm.
That is crazy.
Mhm.
So, as you continue to shift in this way, what do you hope what do you hope this does to your relationship with Jay?
I hope and I pray that it just brings us closer and help us to communicate with each other more, love on each other more, open up our hearts more to each other. Like I really, really, really think I really want that to happen. And I think by me doing this, because one thing she told me this before, she said, you have all the tools, right? You have everything that you can get whatever you want. You just got to go for it and do it. And I think by me doing this is gonna keep that consistent smile on her face, and it's gonna help me concentrate more on her too, right? But I got
Mhm.
to get myself right. I got to get myself right, and it's gonna take some sacrifice and some discipline for me to do that, and then it's I know it has to. Like it gotta work.
Right.
Like it has to work. It has to
And
work. It has to work.
you've said a few things about Jay that make me think, and I just want to make sure I caught this right. That some of this stuff she's been asking you to do for a really long time.
Yep, absolutely.
I would bet you, knowing what I know about, relationships and people and how we operate, she might be noticing some of these things, but she might be thinking, it's about time. What took you so long? Or, too little, too late, or all of those things. What do you imagine she needs to notice that would help her realize, like, oh, this is real. Like this is actually happening. He's not just doing this. This is real.
I think the biggest change when she knows for real, is
Hmm.
when I walk away from me.
Wow. Okay.
I think when I do that, she gonna be like, and got a plan, like already got something in play. Because that's one thing I'll do. I'm not gonna quit a job and don't have nothing else for backup. Like that's just not. I don't think that's a good decision, especially when you got people that's dependent on you.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. Now, if I'm sitting on a couple $1 million and I do that, then that's a whole different ball game, though. But
Right.
I won't do nothing like that. As a man, I won't do that, right? But if I walk in the house and I tell her like, "Yo, today was my last day," yeah, right. It's like I promise you, I'm serious. Call him, ask him
Right.
for real. What made you? Do- Oh, them sessions really helping.
How shocked would she be for you to say, like, I'm walking away from making it from here and I'm selling houses, cars, apartments, one of those higher ticket items.
Listen, when when I was with Eel Chat and I parted ways with them, well, they let me go, right? I thought I was gonna come home and she was gonna rip me a new one. I came home, man, and this one I was still eating meat. She was asking me, "What you want for dinner?" I said, "What I want for dinner?" I said, "Baby, they just let me go." She said, "I know it wasn't your fault, right? They didn't want you there, David. I don't want you there no more."
Hmm.
Right? So what you I was like, okay, well, I want you to make that good old meatloaf that you make with the spinach and the feta cheese and all that. She's like, that's what you want? I said, absolutely. I'm simple. I love that dish. When I ate, I love that. And it wasn't, she was, because my friends even, they was like, yo, Jay's mad. I was like, nah, bro, she wasn't even mad. Like, she know I like tequila. She had me some tequila waiting for me at the house. And I was
Hmm.
like, she ain't even mad, bro. I was like, for real? I was like, nope. And I told her I'm gonna take the summer off because she was pregnant. I said, I'm gonna take the summer off. I'll start looking for something in September. Turned down a job offer and everything because I ain't want to work that far because she was pregnant and it was a high risk pregnancy. And we
Hmm.
enjoyed our summer and everything. Yeah. I was shocked. So for me to walk away from right now on my terms,
Right.
walk away on my terms and have a plan in play. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a double high five hug probably, or she might, cause I know her. She might try to hold back a little bit. She's like, okay, all right, good job. Fist bump, high five, All right, now let's see. Now let's keep this train rolling. But I think it'll definitely bring some joy inside with
Hmm.
her, right? I think she'll probably step on the porch or whatever and probably be like, yeah. or when she pray at night, she'll probably say something like, thank you for letting opening up David's eyes or giving him the courage and for him to walk away because like things of that nature. I think that's what she'll say. And it's about that. It's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's happening.
I think the phrase you used was happy inside. What difference would it make for you to be making her happy inside?
It'll make a big difference because, it would just one thing, and I said this before, one thing that, you know, makes like that I feel good and makes me happy and smile is seeing a smile on my lady's face and my kids' faces. That's the best joy. Like that joy right there is just like is on is is no is priceless.
Mm,
And I think and I need them smiles. I need to put those back on her face. I need to put those on her face. And some of my changes in moving forward with life is gonna definitely do that because then everything else is gonna start falling into place like it should be, like it used to be.
right, right.
Yeah.
And how cool would it be for you to have like a couple $1,000,000 in the bank and your lady happy and your kids happy? Like if you continue on this path at some point in the future, like your bank account is full. Like what? How cool would that be?
That'd be real cool. It'd be awesome. It'd be real awesome, right? Probably not a couple of million though, but I done had some big money in the bank and it's a different type of feeling. But
Right.
having it and don't having really like your significant other to share it with is different. Having somebody you can share it with and with your kids and stuff like that, that's a very good thing. That's a good thing.
How do you know that?
Because there's like even like, like even now, like with the little, right? My sons and daughter their life up to this age, even my daughter at 16, is night and day compared to mine's in jail up to their age, right? And it's just the sacrifices that us as parents that we made, and the things that we do to provide for them to give them a little bit better life to do things like that. Now that's definitely gonna happen. I'm not one of them guys that just because I got a few dollars that I need to have the most expensive stuff on and things are like, nah, that's not me. That's not me. Right. So, but this changing my income or and my savings is just gonna open up their eyes to different things that's out there in the world. Like my sons is like Zeke ain't even 2 yet, and Isaiah is 5. They done been on more airplanes than I did. Like I didn't get on my first airplane until I went to a college visit, and I was 17. My
Right.
daughter done been on. She done took multiple flights, and she's only 16. Right, so just that little stuff like that, little vacations, going
Mm,
to different states. The furthest I've been until I went on my college visit was DC. Furthest I've been from Jersey to DC.
that's
Never
not
been to
far.
Connecticut. No, it's 3 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours. Yeah. Never been to never been to Georgia until I became a young man, like 20, 21, 22. Never been to Florida. My family wasn't one of the families that everybody's going down south for the summer because a lot of my family was up in Jersey, so we did a lot of stuff up here, right?
Right.
But
Right.
yeah, like nope. Mm-mm. So that's big right now. Little things right now. The little stuff we introduce my son to right now. The neighborhood we live in right now. Like I grew up in the hood, like literally the hood. Like you can't walk down my block. You after a certain time of the night, if you ain't from the area, you're not walking down my block, right?
Right.
You're not gonna walk down there, and that's now, right? Back then, you probably could a little bit, but I grew up in the hood. Like my son don't know about that. Our job is for our kids to grow up better than us, right? That's
Mm,
our job. I'm not mad at my mother and father. My mother raised 4 kids by herself. She did
that's
what she needed to do. She put food on the table, clothes on our back, and a roof over our head. And she did what she needed to do, right? She got up and worked doubles and triples so she can provide for us. And that's all right. So now it's my turn for my children, right? I don't gotta work doubles and all that stuff. I still work long hours though, but I'm not working from 9 o'clock in the morning to to 7 o'clock the next morning. I'm not doing that. My mother used to do that. Like I won't see my mother. My sisters are at home, but I'm
Right.
not doing that. Mm-mm.
How satisfying does that feel to know that even though when you haven't been feeling like the best version of you, you still are providing a life for your children that is very different than the life you had growing up?
It feels good. Um, it definitely feels good, and I know it's gonna get better. But it's a like okay, and I'm not content with it. I think at
Right.
some point in time, I got like, all right, that's it. No, mm-mm. I I I want to do better. I got to do better. I want them to have better, right? I want them to see certain things. I want them to go to certain places. For them to get there and do that, I got to change certain things. And I
Right.
think by that, and now that I know and I want that, I got to, like I said, I got to get uncomfortable for a little bit while they're still young. So that way, when they start getting older, they'll know and they having these conversations with their peers, right? And they see it. They're like, oh, well, my dad is home. Your dad is home? Yeah, but my dad works from home and, exposing them to certain things. That's the thing, exposure, right? I feel like as black men, women, and families, we gotta expose our kids to certain things outside of the norm. And there's nothing wrong with that. I
I
think
love
we I think we feel like that's is something. Oh, it's why this? No, do I want to live in a predominantly Caucasian white neighborhood? No, I do not. But I don't want to live in the hood though either. I don't want
right.
to worry about my car getting broken into or I gotta watch over. I mean, I watch over my back no matter what and where I'm at. But I don't need to. I don't want that, right? My son, I want him to be able to play in his backyard in front of the house and don't got to worry about gunshots and things of that nature. Like, yes, absolutely. I want them to go to a good school. Me and Jalen are big on not having them in a predominantly Caucasian white school. That's just us, right? When I tell that to people, right?
Mm,
I say that's just the way we operate. That's what we want. We don't want that, you know. But we definitely don't want to live on Grand Ave in Patterson either.
no,
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 yeah, no, nah, I don't want to do that. So it's gonna take some sacrifice and to for him to not have to worry about that. And there's nothing wrong. It doesn't change. It doesn't make you less of a man or none of that. And I said this in college one time. I said this, right? I was like, it was one of my communication classes, and we saying something. I was like, see, the some of y'all that's from the suburbs and the picket fence and all that. Y'all want to be down and come down to the hood and stuff like that, like thinking that's what it is. We trying to get up out of here. I said, listen, I'd have loved to grow up in the picket with the fence in the backyard and the finished basement and all that stuff. I would have loved, but I unfortunately it didn't. And I'm sitting right here next to you, and you did. So what now? Right? Yeah.
So,
Yep.
David, we're about out of time, but
Mm,
I just want to ask you to do one quick thing.
what's that?
As you keep moving up that scale that we were talking about earlier, and you start noticing that you're more like a 4.5, maybe 5, instead of a 3.5, maybe 4. I want
Mm-hmm.
you to notice how people around you respond. That includes Jane, that includes people at work,
Mm-hmm.
and it even includes your kids. Like if you watch them really closely, you're gonna notice little changes in them.
Mm,
And here's an example. Here's an example. If I were watching you really closely, a really small change is actually evidence of a really big change. And a small change you did that I'd have to be watching you really closely to catch would
okay.
be you are no longer drinking coffee every morning.
Mm,
That seems like a tiny thing, but
mm-hmm.
that means you're going to bed earlier. That means you're getting rest. It means you're waking up with excitement. That means you're getting your energy from less brown as opposed to black coffee. Like that one little thing is a sign of a larger shift.
Mm,
And I want you to pay really close attention to the loved ones around you, because they are probably doing little things
mm,
that are evident that they're noticing something's different with David, something different with Dad. And I want you to pay really close attention to them to notice.
okay.
That sound cool?
Okay. Yep. Sound like a plan.
Excellent, man. Well, good luck, bro. It is amazing to hear what you're doing, and I'm super excited I get to watch it.
All right, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, bro.
All right. Next time.
For David and people like David, if you find yourself in a situation where you're stuck, you're dealing with the same problem over and over again, you're tired of being who you are and you want to become who you're meant to be, then I think it's time to seek out a psychotherapist. Like, we think that psychotherapy is about, like, I've got a problem and I need to talk to a therapist to solve that problem. But that's actually not true. Psychotherapy is more about healing than it is problems. Psychotherapy is more about patterns than it is problems. So if you find yourself in a pattern that is leading you in a direction that you don't want to go in, and you want to develop a new pattern in your life that will help you evolve and grow in a direction that you do want to go in, then go find a psychotherapist and hold that therapist accountable to do the kind of work that leads to you healing. And if they don't, find another psychotherapist and another psychotherapist and another psychotherapist until you find the right one that's going to help you create the life that you desire and, in fact, deserve. The difference between motivation and discipline is motivation is not consistent. Motivation is an emotion. Like when I go to the dentist and the dentist tells me you got cavities, and I mean, I've actually never had a cavity my whole life, but you go to the dentist and the dentist tells you got cavities and teeth problems and you need to start flossing and, doing these things for dental care. You're super motivated because you don't want the pain of a deep cleaning in the dentist again. But a week later, like, you're not really interested in flossing because that motivation, the pain that's associated with that motivation has waned. But discipline is the act of being consistent with a behavior simply because it is good for you or in line with a goal. Many people will tell you that discipline is actually more important than motivation because discipline means I do it whether I'm motivated or not. I watched an interview with a swimmer named Michael Phelps, who said for 7 years he was in the pool every day. Now, you can't believe that he wanted to be in the pool every single day, but he was disciplined. Like, this is the action I've decided to take because it's going to get me where I want to go, which in his case was to become an Olympic gold medal swimmer. Discipline is more important than motivation because discipline means I do it regardless of my mood. That's the difference. And it's important that you make sacrifices in order to create change because all change requires sacrifice. In order to become who I'm desirous of becoming, I have to give up who I am. That's the sacrifice. This is not just a podcast that I want you to consume and be entertained by. I actually want you to be inspired. I want you to be impacted by this. And in fact, we can't help but be impacted by the content we consume. So what I would like for you to do is come on this healing journey with us. Come on this journey of change, rediscovery with us. And the way to do that is to just pay attention to the things going on in your life as a consequence of listening to this podcast. Pay attention to things in your life shifting in a more desirable way. Pay attention to your desirable outcome becoming your reality. Pay attention to evidence of your success, your resilience, and your strength. And let us know in the comments what you're noticing in your life as a result of listening to this podcast and as a result of paying attention to these things. I would love to hear from you about your healing journey, your family, and your feedback. Leave a review, send a DM, connect with me on socials at Elliot Speaks. And you can also send me a text message to 972-426-2640. Family Therapy is a production of iHeartRadio and the Black Effect Podcast Network. Special thanks to our assistant, Glendale Sepe, the music supervisor, Bo Dozier. It's produced by Jacquees Thomas and the executive producer, Dolly Bishop. The content presented on the Family Therapy Podcast serves solely for educational and informational purposes. It should not be considered a replacement for personalized medical or mental health guidance and does not constitute a provider-patient relationship. It is advisable to consult with your healthcare provider or health team for any specific concerns or questions